What's up, metalheads? My name's Jamie. This is the BladesAndEDC channel. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. If you're new, please consider subscribing. And if you enjoy this video, hit that like button for me. Alright, now that all that's out of the way, welcome to another episode of Versus, where the Mallory Designs Phorus is going to make its second appearance. I already did an episode of Versus with this knife. And in that episode, this is a knife that's hard to get. There's only 200 of them made, and they rarely come available on the secondary. And when they do, people generally charge a lot more than they should be charging for them. So most people aren't ever going to get one of these. Luckily enough, I had someone that had one that was interested in a knife Craig had, and made the trade for Craig, and he is the proud new owner of this knife. And in the first episode of Versus, I put it up. I said the Tempest knives pinion would make a pretty decent alternative if you like this knife. Blade shape wise and handle shape wise, they have some similarities, but you know, it's just more the blade shape than anything, right? But there is actually a better alternative that you can buy today, and this knife that I'm about to show you is the knife Craig bought because he could not find a Phorus for sale. So he's like, man, that looks similar, I'm gonna get that. And like a lot of us do when we have a Grell knife, we hype it up, right? We really hype it up in our heads. We can't wait to get it. And then when you finally get it, some of them, you know, they exceed your expectations, and occasionally they don't live up to the hype. And this knife is great, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the Phorus. The Phorus is fantastic. But the knife Craig bought to hold him over till he got a Phorus, he ended up liking it better than the Phorus once he got the Phorus. And that is the Kizer Genie. The carbon fiber liner lock version, to be specific. I didn't realize how similar these knives were until he told me. He's like, man, I like the Genie better. I agree with him. I think I like the Genie better also after now having them both here and playing with them both. I like the ergonomics on the Phorus more, but other than that, the action and everything, the detent, although the Phorus is really good, don't take this the wrong way, the Phorus is a fantastic knife. But for the money, what you can buy this Genie for, man. Two things the Phorus has going for it over the Genie. The ergonomics. For me in particular, with my arthritis, you know, a narrow knife like this can be rough on my knuckles. So the Phorus has a little more, it's a little broader, a little taller on the handle and the blade. So it's extremely comfortable in hand. Everything's contoured. This carbon fiber is contoured, and I don't know if that'll show up on camera, but it is contoured a little bit. Extremely comfortable in hand. Now the Genie is also good in hand, but it's not as broad, right? It's thinner, more sleek, and no contouring, but they have chamfered all the edges by milling them and chamfering them. And it's got good ergos too, but these are just better for me in particular. Not to say that these are bad. One other thing the Phorus does have over the Genie, in my opinion, and this isn't really an over thing, it's a difference. It feels different. Some knives just have that glassy feeling in the action, right? It's just so smooth and glassy, right? When you feel that blade moving around the pivot, it just has that glassy feel to it. This has great action, and it's a shaker. You got to shake her shut. Give her a couple shakes, one shake, and she'll drop down for you. To where with the Genie, it doesn't feel as glassy. It just feels more like it's freer. It has a freer blade. I mean, it's a straight guillotine. The Genie, and it's, you know, reverse flick on the Genie, thumb flick on the Genie. Same thing with the Phorus. Reverse flick's really good. Thumb flick's really good. But what the Genie has going for it that the Phorus does not, front flipper, which is fantastic, by the way. It's a really, really good front flipper on the Genie. It's such a good knife for front flipping because of how far the flipper comes up above the pivot. You get so much leverage, it's just so easy to front flip and play with. Very fidget friendly knife here. Both have titanium pocket clips and titanium back spacers. The Phorus weighs 3 ounces even. This version of the Genie only weighs 2.2 ounces, so it's right there near the bug out. I mean, it's right down by the bug out in weight. And for the length of this knife and the size of this knife, it's impressive how lightweight this knife is. It only has a liner on the lock side. The show side is just carbon fiber, and obviously you have to have a liner for the lock. And I think that the Phorus has a liner on both sides. Yes, liners on both sides. Ah, it has a partial liner on the Genie. It's got like a half liner up here. So it does have a little bit of a liner. Phorus has full liners on both handles. So I couldn't see it from down here, but so put the light up there. But after you put the light up there, you can see it's like a half liner up there. Interesting. Just to give it a little more structural integrity, I guess. But which one do I like better? That's tough. It really is tough. I like how this feels in hand a lot. But I love front flippers. And the fact that I can get everything this knife can do, the reverse flick and the thumb flick, which are fantastic, and I can do all this fun stuff. Man, makes it a hard choice. It really does. I don't think you can go wrong with either of these knives. And you can pick these up for like $125, something like that. $135, but occasionally they go on sale and you can get them for even less. I'll link it below. There's nowhere to link the Phorus, but I'll link the Genie down there. It's a fantastic knife. I don't know, man. I don't think I can pick a winner between the two. They're both so good in their own way, and they're all so similar, really. If this was a little broader, this knife was a little taller, and the blade was a little taller, and the handle was a little taller. I mean, they're very, very similar knives. Extremely similar. Blade shapes. You do get more belly on the Phorus than you get on the Genie. But, yeah, very similar knives. And if you are one of those people that's out there hunting a Phorus, and you've been hunting a Phorus, you're not settling with the Genie. You're not settling, I'll take a Genie. I can't get a Phorus. I don't want to pay the markup on the aftermarket for a Phorus. Yeah, don't worry, don't do that. If you can't find a Phorus for under $200, don't buy one. Buy a Genie. You will be very, very happy with your purchase. And you can get this for even less. You can get these in Richlight and Micarta for $75 or less. And then there's also a full titanium frame-like version of this knife, which I've never handled. But so there are lots of options for the Genie out there. I hope they, this would be a good knife to do a premium version with fat carbon and 20 CV or something. It'd be a very good option for that. So, all right, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up. Two very, very cool knives here. Both of them are fantastic, and one is like a unicorn, and the other one you can buy right now. So, either way, if you not even considering the Phorus, I highly recommend a Genie to everybody. Genie is an amazing knife. Truly is an amazing knife. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.